Hey, what is going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be talking about something potentially quite controversial, especially to many more veteran players, but I want to make clear that this video is aimed towards newer and some mid-game players, which I would define as anyone up to the mid-level 70s range, who aren't quite at the Dark Dimension 3 point in the game. Why is this important? Well, we're going to be talking all about Symbiotes and why I think this isn't a team worth building anymore or considering at the present time of the recording of this video for people that are coming up the way. Now, we are going to be going into a discussion as to why I think this is the case based on recent events and things that have made it a lot more difficult to even obtain these characters despite how important they are to the game. We'll also be briefly looking at alternatives to what might be the obvious uses that people do with them, and I also want to be very clear that this is in the context of now as of the end of July. If things change, I'll consider an update to this, but I don't see a lot changing for now until maybe much later in the year, and we'll talk about that as well. So without further ado, buckle up and let's get this roller coaster started. Okay, so we're here to talk about the Symbiotes. Now, I am running on my baby account Boilon89, who is level 63. And I want to be very clear about this because that's important as to where we are with the characters and what I think about them now. The reason why I'm bringing this up is largely in relation to my baby account and where I've kind of got them to, but also thinking about newer players coming up the way behind me and that they will have even less ability to build this team than what I am. Like, if you notice here, I think I pulled Venom out of a Mega Orb, or maybe I got lucky on a Premium Orb, but aside from that, these are the natural accumulation of the shards that I have for my 5-man Symbiote team as of now. Now, you'll notice that I am at about 60 out of 100 for Symbiote Spider-Man. This is pretty lucky, but this was based on the orb drop rates of the Milestone 1 orb. And now I want to be very clear, because we're going to be focusing on Symbiote Spider-Man first when we talk about this. Anti-Venom, the only reason why I managed to get 90 out of 100 is because there was an anti-venom blitz I want to say a month ago or so. I don't remember the exact date for this, but I was still in the baby blitz at that point in time, which means it was a lot easier for me to get shards. I believe I picked up 60 shards for anti-venom at this time, and this was before he was a premium orb exclusive. I think that I maybe managed to get 15 shards from him, possibly out of a premium orb somewhere. And so besides this, if there was anyone coming up behind me, they'd be at way less shards than this for anti-venom, probably under 30, I would imagine. I'm not sure if he was in any of the event milestones. Sometimes they're giving away the 10 shards at a time. I'm not sure if he was in there or not, so I can't remember where all the sources of mine, my anti-venom shards were, but I know that I picked up at least 60 from his blitz that came around maybe a month or so ago. But let's start off by talking about Symbiote Spider-Man. So why do I think that this team isn't worth building anymore? And part of it is based on where I'm at right now. I'm level 63, almost level 64, almost getting RTA unlocked, and I don't have him unlocked. You know, I don't think I'm going to have him unlocked by the time I even hit level 70. And maybe I will, because I'm only 40 shards away. But if you look at where he was obtainable in the past and now, we have the Milestone 1. I know my chair's in the way. Okay, this is the Milestone Orb 1. This is the Milestone 2 Orb. So let's take a look at the Milestone Orb 1, even though it's not relevant anymore because this has been officially replaced by the Milestone 2. But basically, the main rare drops of this was Coulson and Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, in this case, Coulson was rarer than Symbiote Spider-Man, so you'd only see them in the, I don't know why I clicked on that, the 5% drop and the 1% drop. But really, when you broke it down here, you know, for example, for Symbiote Spider-Man, it was 70% and 70%. So what that means is that you had a grand total of, just doing some quick mental math, 3.5% here, and then 0.7% here. So that was a 4.2% chance that you would get Symbiote Spider-Man out of any Milestone Orb, which is actually pretty good. You know, that means basically every 100 orbs you would get 4 or so drops of him, which, you know, could be anywhere from 20 to 40 shards. So that's not too bad. I think at the present time, from my account anyways, I'm getting like maybe 10 to 12 Milestone, now 2 orbs a week. So if you multiplied that by 10, in 10 weeks I would have 100 orbs, and I would be able to get maybe, what, 20 or 25 shards. So in about 2.5 months or so, I'd be able to get maybe 40 shards of Symbiote Spider-Man back then. But now that it's changed to the Milestone Orb 2 drop rates, things have really flipped on its head here. So let's check out that Milestone Orb 2. If you guys haven't looked at it already, and see what I'm talking about. So click on this. We look at the new drop rates. So instead of Coulson in Symbiote Spider-Man, now we have Symbiote Spider-Man and Emma Frost. But instead, it's so much harder to get shards for Symbiote Spider-Man now, and arguably he is still a better character and more necessary to the game as a whole than Emma Frost is, in my opinion. So now we have a case where, okay, that 5%, you get 30% of that 5%, which is really 1.5%, instead of previously was 3.5% on Milestone Orb 1. So it's been over twice as that's bad English. I was about to say twice as half. Doesn't matter, 1.5%. So plus the 30% of that 1%, that's 0.3%. So a total of 1.8. Now, what did I say it was before? I think I said it was 4.2. So we've gone from 4.2% to 1.8% drop rate. So now that means basically every 100 orbs, I'm only going to get him to drop less than twice. So you might get 5 to 10 shards every 100 orbs, which is still, again, about 2.5 months. So what does that really mean? If you're coming up behind me and you're just getting the drops for Milestone 2 orbs, then you're looking at, I'm just doing some crazy math here, I'm just multiplying that by 10. It could take you like 1,000 orbs, Milestone 2 orbs, to get him unlocked. Because if you get him twice per 100, then let's say that's times about 20 drops per 1,000. Just kind of like mental math there. And so that could take you, what did I say, 2.5 months times 10. 25 months, like it's a long time to get these shards. This is the only play. Like, I don't know if it's going to take you over a year to get them unlocked, but it could. And so let's go back to my roster. If you're coming up behind me, let's say you're just starting, or you're maybe a little bit lower level than I am. I'm 63, and I got him at 60 out of 100. Let's say you're even at 50 out of 100. That's still going to take you like 10 months to get enough shards to unlock Symbiote Spider-Man completely free to play if you're not spending. And this is where the problem lies, because really, this team is nothing without Symbiote Spider-Man, because all of the kit, it's this passive, really. In Raids in Dark Dimension, this, actually, it's more the Drain. Where's the Drain? Where does the Drain show up? Is it here? I think it's here. Level 3. In Raids in Dark Dimension, gain plus 50% drain for self and all symbiotes, and at level 4, it's a whopping 100%. This is why they are so good in Raids in Dark Dimension, is because of this passive. Now, you can't unlock Symbiote Spider-Man because it's going to take you too long free to play through the Milestone Orbs. Screw Emma Frost. The fact that we don't have Symbiote Spider-Man, I should be pointing this way because my hand goes off the screen. Because Symbiote Spider-Man isn't widely available, this is a huge problem. And we're not even through the rest of the characters yet. This is just Symbiote Spider-Man. There is no symbiote team without Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, if I'm lucky, what did I say? Maybe you might get 10 shards every 2.5 months. I'd be lucky to get them unlocked in under half a year. So we'll see how long it takes me to get these 40 shards. I haven't received any shards from Symbiote Spider-Man since the Milestone Orb 2 came out. But I reckon that we're at July the 25th as of this video recording anyways. Let's see if I can unlock them before the end of the year. And by that point, I think I'll already be up to Dark Dimension 3. Level 75. I would imagine I'd be at least there, if not a little bit further. So what does that really mean? Is I'm not going to have him available unless they make him more available, but I don't think so, because they just did this change, that this is going to be a huge problem for some time to come. Now, secondly, let's talk about AntiVenom, because recently he was put into the Premium Orb as a 2% exclusive. So what does that mean? Oh, he's still in the Mega Orb. Well, thankfully there. But as a 2% Premium Orb exclusive, what does that mean? Okay, so we can see here just the 15 shards, he's at 2%, alongside Kestrel, which is also really dumb, but that's a different topic, and not for this video. So this means that basically for every 100 premium orbs that you pull, you could get 2 pulls of him, supposedly. So you might get 30 shards for every 100 premium orbs pulled. So I know, because I do really big premium orb openings on my main account, roughly every 2.5 to 3 months. So it takes me about that long to get 100 premium orbs. And that's through playing really well in the Orb Assault, which is not something that I would expect people to be doing in as an early and mid-game player, who won't be, you'll probably be spending more time on the Red Star Orbs where you can. But in terms of accumulating 100 Premium Orbs, I don't think you'll be able to do it as quickly as my main account. So I would almost say 100 Premium Orbs every, this is just a ballpark figure, like 4 months maybe to get that. So you're going to get 30 shards every 4 months. on this character. So if you're much further behind than me, or if you're a new player now and you don't have many shards for anti-venom, you're kind of fucked. You know, I have to say that you're screwed, because you're not going to be able to get him unlocked. Now, lucky for me, I just need to get one more lucky drop, and I should be able to get that. So I probably will get him unlocked. I'll get him unlocked before I get Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked. But how good is anti-venom standalone? I think he's worth building if you can still manage to unlock him. I would probably still build him, but by the time that you know, because this is me at 90 out of 100, if you're someone way further down the way, I would say probably not, because by that point there's going to be alternatives to this character most likely, or hopefully, you know, he's not going to be 2% in there. Well, he was just added. No, sorry, he wasn't just added. Kestrel was just added. So, you know, maybe in 6 months' time he might be more free than he was before. I don't know. But this is absolutely a terrible player decision. Sorry, a terrible Scopely decision against the players. This is very unplayer friendly and isn't great. And Scream, I don't know if there's really much to say about Scream. She is in the 975 arena orb, the store. You can find her there for 975 credits, which is really not worth building, and she's not worth getting if you don't have anti-venom and definitely Symbiote Spider-Man. You know, you have to have Symbiote Spider-Man, right? So Scream, while she's a good standalone character, I just still wouldn't use her without the other two, and definitely not without Symbiote Spider-Man. So I'm not going to talk too much about Carnage and Venom, because these are the oldest of the characters, and frankly, I don't think they stand alone very well. I think that, you know, Scream and anti-venom are more likely to stand on their feet by themselves than Carnage and Venom are. You really need the full team together to get that maximum impact. And with how rare that Symbiote Spider-Man is, I think this is a massive, massive problem. And please let me know in the comments down below if you think I'm just batshit crazy, because maybe I am. But I just don't see myself building this team, because I'm not going to be able to build them all together. Because the chances of me getting Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked, and this is someone who's already level 63, who's kind of making their way up the ladder, I just don't think I'm going to get him. And for that reason, I just, like, I don't have any hopes for this team for any newer players. If you're a veteran player who's in Dark Dimension 3 and 4, you know, you don't really need to listen to this, because you probably already have them unlocked, and therefore they're still worth building. But if you don't have them all as a 5-man or even a 4-man, I just don't think it's worth your time, not worth the bio expenditure at this point into them piecemeally. That was a weird thing to say. So if you can't get Symbiote Spider-Man, the team's not worth it. That's basically the end of it. And anti-venom is going to be just as difficult to get shards for, because of the way he is being released. Now, this brings us to some questions that some people might be asking. Well, what kind of alternatives do you have specifically for things like Dark Dimension 3 City and Dark Dimension... I'm not going to talk about Dark Dimension 4 City, and the reason why I'm not is because that's level 80, and, you know, it takes quite a bit of time for newer and mid-game players to get up there, and so by that point I do expect there to be alternatives. But let's just take a look anyways, and let's take a look at the city roster just to see what there is available, what I think might happen. So admittedly, there's a lot of trash in the city roster, so there isn't a lot of good choices, and this is, again, this is my baby account here that you're looking at. So what I think you might need to consider as an alternative, something like Multiple Man. I think that you should go really hard on getting through the Doom War campaign. If you're someone that's level 70 plus and watching this video, I definitely recommend going harder in that Doom War campaign, so you can get to the end to Doom War 3.9, and then you can start farming Multiple Man. He is a Hero City character as well, and he is part of that requirement to get Adam Warlock unlocked, which I think is going to be very important. And actually, I've seen some footage of people using Multiple Man in Dark Dimension 3 and 4 City, and he actually performs fairly well. But outside of this, you know, I'm not really sure what they have planned. You know, if they really do add some supernatural characters down the line, then we might be able to see possibly a return to Ghost Rider, some sort of mixed combo here, maybe a Mystic, City Mystic lane. We know that, I think we know, that Shang-Chi is coming up pretty soon, and so maybe there's some rumors that he's going to be added to the Heroes for Hire. Not sure if that's going to happen either, but if that's the case, then it might make them more reliable. Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Colleen Wing, and Misty Knight. Maybe Colleen Wing and Misty Knight will become more farmable soon, so therefore you might be able to do this 4-man plus Shang-Chi, something like that. You could also, like I said, if you do get anti-venom unlocked and you're lucky enough to do so, you could still build him standalone, and he could work as a city hero character as well. But really, there is a lot of limitations in this without the symbiotes, and that's the biggest problem when it comes to Dark Dimension 3 or 4 City, is that the rule of thumb is to build symbiotes. So for me to go and say, don't build them, it's not so much don't build them, it's more like you can't build them, because the availability of them is so bad for anti-venom and symbiote Spider-Man that I just really don't expect newer players coming up the way or anyone around my area of level to even get close to be able to do this. So I don't know what their plans are. Like I said, there isn't a lot of great alternatives. Heroes for Hire and Ghost Rider, Multiple Man. Doc Ock is usable in Dark Dimension 3 City, so I will say that if you can manage that's probably a good choice there. But as far as Dark Dimension 4, you know, he is a legendary character, so he's going to get, which is still a good character for that, but he's not a city character for that lane in Dark Dimension 4, you know, even though we're not really talking about that. There's not a lot of great options, so I do think that they... I think they might have a plan. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be more alternatives, more city characters coming out the way over the next 6 months that will give us some sort of newer character, new player alternative to the symbiotes for when you do get around to the Dark Dimension 3 city area. So again, this video is not intended to be a video all about, you know, alternatives to the symbiotes in Dark Dimension 3 or 4. This is just what I think may happen down the line. Either Shang-Chi is going to get some sort of Heroes for Hire tag, or there's going to be some sort of city mystic tags, I don't know, or there's going to be new symbiotes. There's been rumors about new symbiotes possibly coming in the October-November timeline, which might make sense around Halloween. But yeah, it just doesn't look great. Symbiotes are just dying, and the lack of availability for them is absolutely terrible. So I feel bad for everyone who is coming up behind me who has even less shards than I do on the symbiote team, as strong as they are. And I'm not even going to talk about Doomraid, but really at this point they're the only options for Doomraid. So it's just horrific to even think about, given how bad the availability is for these characters. Do not gear up and level Venom and Carnage, especially if you don't have any of these other ones. It just doesn't make sense standalone. I'm not doing it. I don't plan to do it. And for my baby account, unless I can somehow get Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked within the next 8 months, I don't plan on doing that either. So I just wanted to, you know, bring out this video as a tale of caution, and also, I don't know, just what the hell were they thinking? This was such a bad player, a player unfriendly decision on their part that it just kind of blows up this entire team and doesn't make them worth even considering at this point anymore, because there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just, you have to hope and pray, and especially if you're not a spender. If you are a spender, if you're a light spender, you know, hey, do unlock Symbiote Spider-Man if you can. If you just need 50 shards or whatever and you want to spend for that, that's great. You know, but for free-to-play players, and, you know, I'm free-to-play on this account here, that I have no other option other than to hope and pray every time I open an orb that I'm going to get shards for these characters. So just wanted to bring this to you all, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think about symbiotes and their lack of availability? I just think it's absolutely nuts. Do you think that there's going to be an alternative to this team? Do you think that they're going to add to the symbiote team? What do you think is going to happen with this, and where do you think we go from here? So let me know all of that, please, down in the comments down below. And until next time, guys, stay safe and healthy. Until then, I screwed that up. Doesn't matter. Stay healthy, and I'll see y'all next time. Boilon signing out.